Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sure enough.
Well, who am I? Who am I? I can't hear you.
And just like that, we back. And just in time. We got Errol the Truth Spence Jr. versus Terrance Bud Crawford for Undisputed in the Welterweight division. Live on pay-per-view tonight, July 29th, is going down. And I will be covering the fight on my YouTube channel. Feel free to tune in. The Oscar Show Boxing Around the Ring. I'll be calling the fight blow by blow, round by round. Check me out. Now, let's get into it. I'm excited. We have not had a fight of this magnitude in years. Now, unless you want to count the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury trilogy, that was pretty entertaining. But skill level wise, no, we have not had a fight of this magnitude to this level, to this degree of skill and intelligence in the ring in years. You can't really compare the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight to the Errol Spence-Terrance Crawford fight because of when the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight took place, in my opinion. Now, had that fight taken place 5, maybe 8 years prior to when it took place, that would be a different discussion. Now, I don't know if Errol Spence and Terrance Crawford are going to break those numbers, pay-per-view numbers, but skill-wise and timing, as far as both fighters being in their prime, oh yeah, this beats that fight by a long shot. Kudos to the fighters for coming together and negotiating to get this fight done. I know there was a little hold up for a couple years there with negotiations as far as it should be 50-50, it should be 60-40, 65-35 and all that. But I'm glad they got together and worked out a good split for both fighters, 50-50. And there is a rematch clause in this fight as well. So if someone loses, they can exercise that if they would like. So I'm excited for this fight. It's going down. Like I said, check out the YouTube channel, The Oscar Show Boxing Around the Ring. I will be calling that fight. Let's get into it. So I watched a few of those press conferences and interviews that both these fighters have had leading up to this fight. And I want to get into some of the things that I saw. And I want to start with Terrance Crawford and Errol Spence's interview on the Mike Tyson show. I think that both fighters are very similar. I think both fighters' parents played a major part in their lives. If you listen to Errol Spence and Terrance Crawford, they give a lot of credit to both their parents for instilling something in them that has brought them to where they're at today. Kept them out of trouble, morals and values in life. So, hey, shout out to their parents. I also want to talk about, I want to mention the injuries that both fighters talked about on the Mike Tyson podcast. So Terrance Crawford has been shot in the head, and he has a metal plate in his head. Now, I don't know if that's a disadvantage or an advantage in the ring, but that is something to think about. It's not talked about as much, but I would consider it. You know, this guy's got a metal plate in his head. Like I said, I don't know if that's a disadvantage or an advantage. I'm not a doctor, but that is something to consider in my opinion. Errol Spence, he talked about the car crashes he's had. So Errol Spence had 2 car crashes. The first one was really, really bad. The second one, I don't think so much. I think it was definitely not to the extent of the first car crash. And then we got the fact that Errol Spence suffered a detached retina training for the Manny Pacquiao fight that he had on the horizon. What ended up happening is Ugas stepped in for Errol Spence since he got injured with that detached retina, and Ugas beat Manny Pacquiao. But then Errol Spence came back to dominate Ugas. I mean, whooped him all around the ring, broke him down, face looked crazy, eye shut. I mean, couldn't see, doctors waving in front of him. How many you see crazy like that? So, yeah, it's a good thing Manny Pacquiao did not get in the ring with Errol Spence, because that would not have been good for Manny Pacquiao's health. Things happen for a reason. So Manny Pacquiao ride off into the sunset and, you know, be done. You don't want to fight these fighters, man. Let's see, what else did they talk about? So Terrance mentioned, you know, going over to Africa and just seeing the living conditions and just feeling more grateful for the, you know, things he's able to enjoy in this country, here in America. You know, he mentioned, you know, just giving these guys an empty plastic bottle means so much to them just so they can fill it with water. And sometimes the water's not even clean water. And that keeps him grounded, hungry, and motivated. So I picked that up from his conversation with Mike, and I can tell, like, okay, his head isn't in the clouds for sure. I think Errol Spence is grounded too, due to his parents and his upbringing. So, you know, that's great. I will say that when it comes to competitiveness, I do think Terrance Crawford has the edge there. I think Terrance Crawford is competitive in whatever it is. He has that Michael Jordan itch, you know, where he just has to win no matter what the game is, no matter what it is, free or not, it doesn't matter. He wants to win. I feel like Errol Spence, you know, he might feel that way about some things outside of the ring, but not all things. You know what I'm saying? I think Terrance Crawford feels that way about everything. Throwing the frisbee the farthest, throwing the football the farthest, eating the fastest, you know, whatever the Uno, Monopoly, I don't care. He wants to win, and he will do whatever it takes to win. Now, what I've noticed when I, you know, look at these guys who have that type of mentality, they tend to do very well. So I don't know, take that how you want it, but that is a slight difference between them when it comes to competitiveness. I think Errol Spence is just a little bit more laid back than Bud, you know, outside of the ring. Now, inside the ring, Errol Spence is a machine, very competitive, and operates on a whole nother level. So that's what makes this fight so interesting. Both these guys have high ring IQ. Both these guys are very much so fit, athletic, skill-wise. They both are great. Both have unique skills that benefit them. Terrance Crawford is a switch hitter. He can hit you with the left, hit you with the right stance, whichever way you want it. Errol Spence is a southpaw. So I think he's going to be prepared for Terrance Crawford. You know, I really do. Now, as far as a victor of the fight, I don't want to get into that yet. Let's keep diving in a little bit further. So the press conferences leading up to the weigh-in, let's talk about it. I don't really get into who won this press conference, who talked the better smack and all that. That can be deceiving. I've seen guys, you know, look like they were going to tear the house down, get in there and get knocked out right away. Right away, sir. Knocked out. You know, and so I don't buy into all that. What I will say is the last press conference leading up to the weigh-in, some things took place that I wasn't too fond of. So the coaches, Derek James is Errol Spence's coach. Bo Mack is Terrance Crawford's coach. So these two are talking smack to each other back and forth. Now, I don't mind that, but I feel like Derek James crossed the line. He started talking about the man's weight and calling him ma'am. That's too much. That's too much, Derek. Chill out. You didn't have to do all that. Say all the FUs and stuff, but, we don't do that. We don't rock like that. I mean, that's not a good example. I mean, calling them ma'am, that's just ridiculous. You don't call no man ma'am that don't want to be called ma'am. It's already enough crap going on right now with that. Why would you even do that? I don't even think Errol Spence liked his coach doing that. I just don't. That was very distasteful and, low class. And I ain't never seen Derek James behave in such a way. So I'll give it a pass. Maybe the fame and the hype is getting to him. He did get nominated and win Trainer of the Year. Maybe that got to his head a little bit, but calm down, Derek. Terrance Crawford, he's getting into it with someone in the crowd. I don't know if that was one of Errol Spence's fans or someone in his entourage, but, Terrance Crawford is bickering, going back and forth with this guy, calling each other the B word. I think the guy called Terrance the B word first, so Terrance, called him it back and, whatever. And I just think Terrance should have ignored him. But Terrance did try to calm it down at the end, like, hey, too much can happen from something so stupid. Let's not show these people that we don't know how to conduct ourselves and get business done. You know what I mean? So kudos to Terrance for that. He did do that and, try to calm the situation down and get control of it. So I like that. We as black people, we don't want to be operating like that, especially when it comes to business. We want people to be able to trust us and know that we're going to get the job done and do what we got to do, So kudos to Terrance for that. Now, the weigh-in, I like the weigh-in. I feel like both fighters came in there fit, ready, hungry. They looked hungry. You got to drain yourself to make weight. I still can't pick a winner. I still can't pick a winner. They both look great. They both look in shape. And they both look like they've had great training camps for this fight. They've done all they can to win this fight, each fighter, So I can't pick a winner. I think it'd be disrespectful if I was to choose a winner between these two. Given the level of skill and just greatness that both fighters possess. Now, if you're a fan of one or the other, you might lean, whichever way that you, whichever guy that you're a fan of. But me personally, I'm a fan of both these guys. I'm a fan of boxing overall, and I respect both these fighters. So I can't pick a winner. Like I said, this fight's going to be a great fight. It's going to be decided by moments. I think Sean Porter mentioned this as well. This fight is going to be decided in moments, maybe a moment, but it could be moments as well. So it's going to be decided like that. And you're not in these fighters' heads, so you don't know what's going on. You're not in the ring. You don't know. When I compare the skill level and the greatness of both fighters, it's really tough to pick a winner. So I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to wait and see. Now, after the first fight, maybe I'll have a little bit more insight and I'll be able to, give or pick a winner, I should say, if there is a rematch. But right now, I can't pick. That's just how great this fight is, and that's how great these fighters are. Both fighters made weight. I'm happy about that. So all titles will be on the line. They look great, in shape, like I said, drained, but healthy at the same time. And you can tell they're going to be strong come fight night. So, yeah, I'm excited. I will be calling this fight on my YouTube channel, The Oscar Show Boxing Around the Ring. tonight, July 29th. Feel free to tune in. I'll be calling it blow by blow, round by round. It's been a minute since I dropped some content, but I'm back. This year has been a great year for boxing. I will say there's been a few fights that have taken place this year that I was excited about. I did watch it. I paid attention. I just didn't drop any content, but I will revisit those fights and drop some content concerning some of those past fights that took place. And I'm back. And that's all I got for y'all right now. I will be back with more content. Feel free to check out my channel and just, watch some of the previous content that I put out. I'm out.